All right, boys and girls, we are going to do another math mini lesson. Now, this math mini lesson is going to be a little bit harder, so I want you to really pay attention, put your listening ears on, and I want you to pay really good attention to it, okay? Now, what we're going to be doing is we've been talking about tens and we've been talking about ones, and we know that tens in a two-number digit is the first number, okay? And then the ones are the second number. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to be adding tens and ones, or two-number digits. But before we get into that, let's look at just a regular addition problem that you could do, okay? Now, we've seen problems and addition problems written in both of these ways. We've seen them written in horizontal from side to side, and then we've seen them written up and down vertical. So no matter how the problem is written, we're still going to get the same answer. Now these two problems, or this is the same problem, but this problem is one digit numbers. We're just adding a 3 and a 4, okay? So 3 doesn't have any tens. It's only 3 ones, okay? And there's 4. 4 doesn't have any tens. There's only 4 ones. So these are just adding one digit numbers together, okay? And we're used to that. But today we're going to do something a little bit different where we are adding two digit numbers. And in our lessons, we've been kind of getting used to that, but this is going to be a little bit different, okay? So I want you to pay really close attention. Now, in last week, we talked about adding tens, and we did have some two-digit numbers where we were adding them together, but they didn't have any ones. Now, let me go over one of those problems so just we can kind of remember what we did last week. So let's just say we had 30 plus 40, okay? And I might see that problem side to side, or I might see that problem up and down. But last week when we were doing it, we just looked at our tens and we drew those tens. So let's look at the first number. The number is 30. How many tens are there in 30? Yeah, the first one is the tens. So there are 3 tens. And remember last week I told you to kind of use that addition sign, that plus sign, to help you kind of divide your tens from both sides. So 30 has 3 tens. And remember, a 10 is where we use a symbol as a line. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, how many ones are there in 30? There are 0. The first one is the tens. The second one is the ones. There are no ones in 30. So we just have 3 tens. Then we did the same thing to 40. How many tens are there in 40? Yeah, the first one is the 10. So there are 4 tens. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many ones are there? There are 0, okay? So we do nothing. Now we're just going to add these tens, add these ones together to get a two-number digit. So we always look at our tens first. How many tens are there in all? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I write the number 7. How many ones are there? There are 0. So 30 plus 40 equals 70, okay? Now, today we're going to get into something similar to that, but some of our numbers are going to have ones in it this time, okay? So let's look at this first problem that I've done, and it is 83 plus 10, okay? Now I first wrote this problem horizontal from side to side because that's how you're going to see it on your assignment today. Now, what I then did was I stood this problem up, or I wrote this problem in a vertical way, just like I did with 3 plus 4, okay? Well, we did that, but if you notice, I did something a little bit different when I did that. I divided my problem up with tens and ones. So 83, in 83, because we always know our tens go first, because the first one is the tens. So in 83, there are 8 tens and 3 ones. So I just kind of made a little, kind of like a little T chart. That's what we call it. And I made a little T chart there, like a T. And on one side is my tens, and on the other side is my ones. And I just broke that problem up, okay? So 83. So in 83, there are 8 tens and 3 ones. But then the number 10, there are 1 10 and 0 ones. Now, we are going to add these numbers together. Now, you can do it in several different ways. I'm going to show you. Down here is where I'm going to kind of use this area to draw my picture to help me. So, this is something new that you have not done because we haven't been adding 2 number digits like this standing up. When you add 2 number digits together, you have to start on the right side. Now, that is a little strange because when we've been talking about tens and ones, we always look at the tens first. But when you're adding these numbers together, you need to start on the right side, or you start with your ones. And the reason why is this is kind of setting you up for something really hard that you're going to do in 2nd grade, okay? So let's look at this side, okay? We're going to start with the one side just when we are getting ready to add, okay? So if I look at it, I have on my one side, I have the numbers 3 and 0. So that's just no more than just a regular adding 2 numbers together, 3 plus 0. And I could do that by drawing circles, or I can do it in my head. So what is 3 plus 0? Well, it's 3. So I just write that 3 under that. Now, the reason why I don't write it just any place, everything has to have its proper place. Because think about it, it's almost like I'm making a sandwich with my ones. So let's say I have a piece of ham right here and a piece of tomato right here. I'm going to put them together to make my sandwich. This is my one sandwich. So 3 plus 0 is 3, and I have to put it under the ones. I can't put it in any place. Then, because I'm adding, I'm going to do the tens next. Okay? 8 plus 1. That's pretty easy. We know how to do that. 8 plus 1. Put 8 in your head. 8. And then count on 1. 8, 9. So then that gives me 9 tens. That was the 9. That was the tens sandwich. Okay? So now this is going to be a little bit strange because when we're just trying to find out how many tens something has, we always look at the first number. But because we're adding these numbers, we have to start on a certain side. We have to start on the right side or the one side, okay? Now, let me show you what you also could have done, okay? And I'm going to show you again, okay? Let's use this same one, 83 plus 10, and I'm going to draw these out. So let's think about it. Let's see how many tens there are in 83. Well, it tells me there's 8 tens. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 tens in 83 and 3 ones. 1, 2, 3. So I'm just drawing what I already know. Then let's do 10. Okay? Let's see how many tens there are in 10. There are 1 10. 1. How many ones are there in 10? 0. So now I still have to do it because I'm adding. I'm going to line everything up. So how many ones are there when I do it? There are 1, 2, 3. 3 ones. I put it up under the ones. How many tens are there? 8. and 9. So 9 tens and 3 ones gives me the number 93. Okay? Now let's do another one. I know this can be a little bit hard because you're probably thinking, well, Miss Belcher, you've told us when we do our tens and ones, we need to look at our tens first. Yeah, you do, but whenever it's time to add two number digits together, we're going to start on the right side, or we're going to start with the one side, because that's going to set you up for something a little bit harder when you get into second grade, okay? All right, let's do another one. Let's do 52 plus 20. So if you're noticing on these problems that you're going to see on your assignment, one of the two number digits is going to have ones and the other number is not, okay? And it really doesn't matter. So we've got 52 plus 20. So we're going to break this up, okay? So let's do 52. Let's write that in our in our little T chart, our tens and our ones. How many tens are there in 52? There are 5 tens and 2 ones. So I'm just breaking up the tens from the ones, because when we put them together, they make a 2 number digit. All right. Now, before we get to the other number, let's go ahead and draw the picture. So how many tens are there in 52? 5. So I'm going to draw that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many ones are there? 2, 1, 2. Okay, so we're done with 52, drawing that out. Now let's do 20. How many tens are there in 20? The first one is the 10, so there are 2 tens. I'm going to break it up. I'm just breaking that number up. 2 tens, and then there are 0 ones. The second one is the ones. Okay, now we can get ready to draw 20 in our picture. How many tens were there in 20? 2. So we're going to do 2 lines. 1, 2. How many ones were there in 20? 0. So we're doing nothing. All right, now, because we're getting ready to add these numbers together, we're going to start with our ones, just because we're adding them together. All right, so let's do our one sandwich. All right, how many ones are there? Remember, our ones are always our circles if you're going to do it with a picture. If you're not going to do it with your picture, you can just add 2 and 0. 2 plus 0, how many ones are there? There are 2. There are 2 ones. Okay? Now we're done with our one sandwich. How many tens are there in all? All right, you could do this. Put 5 in your head and hold up 2 fingers and count on. Or you can use your picture. So let's see how many tens there are. Okay, let's see. 5, 6, 7. So 7 tens and 2 ones makes the number 72. Okay, so there's different ways that you can do it. You might choose to do it with breaking it up like this. Okay, and then doing it in your head, or you might want to use a picture. But because on your assignment, your problems are going to be side to side, you want to stand those problems up so you can kind of see your tens and your ones, okay? All right, guys, hopefully that wasn't too hard. We'll revisit that lesson again. All right, talk to you later.